All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Going to do this early live stream. I have to get a lot of things done today, but I wanted to fit something in. This is a public one, so this is, anybody, can tune in. So I'm going to do a market overview real quick. Just kind of share that with anyone that's interested, and then I'm sure we'll get more people to join and ask their questions. That's kind of the plan, and we'll go from there. And as you can see with the market, with the Dow Jones, we have been continuing to drift higher. It's still only 3 waves up, 3 waves down. And because of that formation, we're in the, we call the middle area. The market can have a couple possible paths. Right now we have an ABC, so I'll just kind of show you a couple paths that the market can take, and then we can think about this. So after this move, we get a pullback, right? And then the market could make another high, right? And then a major pullback like that. So this would be the 5-wave move up, because right now we only have 3 up. We could make this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the 3-wave correction against this cycle. You'd probably retrace in 50%. I'm thinking 39,000 area, 300. And then this would represent a buy opportunity to go long for the easy money in wave 3 of 3 on the blow off top type formation. So there's this setup, okay, this setup. Now there's another path. There's always other paths, right? There's always other paths. And then there's also this path where there's no bounce. And it goes all the way down, like I did. And this is kind of what I've been showing here, right? And then you bounce in 4 and make another low, like that, right? And then you blow off top there, okay? So again, you have 2 paths here, 4 and a 5, a pullback, blow off top, crash, you break the lows, everyone freaks out online, on TV, on the internet. They'll say Elliott Wave Sage is a genius and everyone else was stupid. There'll be so much emotion, people jumping off of buildings, whatever, because this will annihilate retail, and then only to see it moon later like that. There's this, and then there's this. But then there's also there's even more possibilities. There's a very small pullback, like here, and then it just goes vertical. Now, okay? So there's that, where this would be some kind of, 1, 2, 1, 2, boom, out, 3 of 3. So those are the possible paths the market can take. As you can see, they all resolve higher, higher, higher. But the path to get there during this time frame is unknown. This path is unknown, which is the next 45 days or so. So this is where traders will get chopped up, confused, leave their positions too early or not soon enough. And the market is tough. The indices are a tough trade because of this situation right here. And because of that situation, we have to stay on the sidelines on the indices. But during this period of time, even about when we got into this area right here, other instruments have hit lows already, hit lows. And they're not going to go through this situation most likely. They may trade in a different pattern, but they're going to their path is much clearer. They're going to outperform and they're going to go higher throughout whatever happens here. And maybe during this part, as this is playing out, it's making a series of 1s and 2s, a 1 and a 2, right? And it's making a series of 1s and 2s, but it's going higher while the indices are doing this kind of erratic trading. So again, a lot of I would say most traders love the indices. They're fixated on the indices. Most guys you follow, they have the 100,000 followers. All they talk about is the indices, but the indices is actually the worst trade. You're going to make the least amount of profit here than you are trading other things that have bottomed that are coming out of major lows. One example is Reddit, a stock that we took at the lows that probably isn't going to go through this. And we go, well, why not? Well, I don't know why not. News will hit, and we've already seen that happen with Reddit, and it's starting to pump again, specific to Reddit. I'm just saying the indices is a bad trade right now for the next period of time until we know which path the market's going to take on the indices. Okay, we won't know which path the market's going to take. We don't know. So everyone has to get over themselves on the indices. Okay, you're going to have to just give up on worrying about this, because there's 2 out of 3 possibilities where you'll get good buys here or here, right? But if you miss this move, if the indices are going to do this, well, we have long positions already that will benefit from that. So it doesn't matter. And those positions like Celsius and some others, they're not going to go through this. They're gonna keep pushing higher, and they're gonna be, when we're here, they're gonna be the leaders. And they're gonna outperform. And there's many of those stocks already. And then there's other stocks that are topping out right around here that are gonna probably be dramatic pullbacks, which probably will pull this market down either to 39 or new lows. Obviously, those are what we don't want to be in, right? There's stocks that look like 5 up is over, that it's done. Like Robinhood, for example, looks pretty complete. Costco, looking very almost at a top. So that's the mixed view. It's a stock picker's market right now in the next 45 days. And I think the indices is a very bad trade. I think this, if you fixate on the indices and you just can't get over yourself on the indices and worrying about 2 to 3% or even 10%, you got to open up your thinking to other ideas and other instruments to trade. And if you do that, you'll be able to make a lot of money in this period and even this sideways period. Look, the indices have essentially gone sideways here, but our group has profited from the miners, from gold, from silver, from a lot of different stocks, short in bonds. We've had long positions on China that's starting to play out. We've had long positions on some other stocks that I'm sure you guys don't even know about. It's like agricultural. We also have long positions on just off the top of my head, and we mentioned like GUR was a good opportunity, and that's been moving hot, really high lately. And who needs the indices? But again, traders are fixated. I get a lot of hate mail for the indices for some reason because of when I'm showing this, and they felt like there was no, they weren't informed to buy this little 5% or whatever this is. We don't care about the indices because we don't trade the middle area. So that's, guys, you guys going to have to get over yourself. So the indices have these passable paths, and you'll have to decide on your own how you want to trade it. But I don't recommend trading the index. I just don't. But a lot of traders just can't get over it, and I don't know. It's just kind of interesting to me. But that's the way it goes. I think the lows could still be broken. It's not all clear. 2 paths resolve in a 39,000 level Dow in the next 30 to 45 days. 2 paths, 2 out of those 3 situations. The only other path is a moon path, which I guess we'll know about very soon. So that's the moon path, right? And then we would relabel it, but we would know that pretty soon. It does look like the market's running out of gas. The 4-hour cycle looks like it's going to reset. That will give us that wave 4, right? Or worse. The daily cycle also running out of gas here. And the weekly cycle is almost fully reset to the upside. So we could have a lot of selling ahead of us coming. And I think this is where Trump's tariffs going to start to expire. You have the debt, the debt issue and the bill. And now Musk and Trump feud happening. You still have meetings with China happening. So you've got a lot of news risk out there this summer. And then, of course, you have the new macroeconomic indicators coming out that are going to start to show the tariff impact. And I believe there's going to be an inflation freak out because you're going to see higher inflation, and then that's going to create a freak out moment in the market. And I think that's what you're already seeing happen in the metals, and energy starting to break out again, and you're starting to see that in interest rates. So the market's already getting ahead of that. And once you read a CPI that's over 3, what if the CPI reads 6, 7, 8%? Because again, it's just a year-on-year comparison. That's all it is. And then people will freak out, and we could see thousands of points down in one day when that print hits something like that dramatic. That's why I think Trump's trying to get ahead of the Fed news right now, talking about a new name is going to be put out, because I think he's going to anticipate that perhaps a hot print will come out. Then Powell will want to, maybe even pressure to raise rates, and he's got to try to get ahead of that and try to pressure him to think, not to do that. And this is just what Nixon did to Burns during the inflationary period. Nixon pressured Arthur Burns to not raise rates and actually pressured him to lower rates during their inflationary problem, and it just made it 10 times worse. And they basically kicked the can down the road to the next administration. Carter felt the brunt of it, and then eventually Volcker had to come in and slam it down by creating a recession, almost even worse than a recession, to stop it. And maybe that's the same playbook we're about to follow. We may be going into a 1970 trading environment where you want to be long gold, long silver, long crypto, long hard assets, long energy, anything that benefits from a weak dollar, a high inflation environment. I don't think it's just tariffs doing it. I think there's a lot of money printing happening across world markets by governments, and it's all going to infect the market and the psychology of the market participants, and they're going to start to move away from anything that cannot benefit from an inflationary standpoint. But that's starting to set in. Silver is breaking out to levels that we haven't seen in many, many years, and it's really just getting started. Platinum's breaking out. And again, we've called all these trades if you followed me. And this is what we're long, right? Again, everybody's fixated on the indexes. Who cares about the indexes, right? Who cares? Again, if you're just worrying about, I missed my move on the triple Qs, well, too bad. We made so much money on the gold and miners trades, guys. I couldn't buy enough of them. I ran out of money to buy. There was so much opportunity, and there still is. But yet everybody wants to trade the triple Qs, and they're so angry about the situation here. And honestly, these could still come back down and break the lows. It's still possible. So good luck on it. And that's the market forecast. And then Bitcoin, of course, is in a tricky spot. I know it's going to resolve higher, and then it's going to be a big decision made here in this box. I do believe we have a pretty confident one more swing higher. I can label this as a WXYXZ, but it's not clear yet. We don't have enough data. Once we break 1068, then you can label a triple, and the low is here, and then we'll start our push higher. And this will be a fight, and we'd want to be aggressive and go long on this to get the upside. Now, if this may not happen because it could still be in a 1, 2, 3, a connector, 1, 2, one more swing down to the 97,000 area. So it's not out of the woods yet. This is a very strong push off the bottom, but we need to wait for for a more follow through this weekend. If we can't get that, then watch out for the next dip higher. And if we know the markets are likely to pull back like this soon in a 4, again, there's 2 out of 3 scenarios that say we're going to get a 4 and a 5, or we're just going to crash. It's likely Bitcoin will pull back when that happens. So it's like a 66% chance of a pullback here. And then if the markets are not going to do that and continue to melt up and even accelerate, then it's likely Bitcoin has bottomed here and will also accelerate. Bitcoin tends to trade with the market, but when the market moves higher, it outperforms tremendously. So I think, and that's why it always gains more ground on the upside compared to the market. I would say that this is area when we get here will be a very important level, because you either get a dramatic pullback. And in this situation here, it could be like a 4 and a 5 and the market down to 530, 520. And that would be Bitcoin, like a 4 and a 5 and then a pullback to, down to 530. It may not break these lows. It could still break them when that happens. The other possibility is we just crash from here, and if that happens, I think Bitcoin would be under pressure, and potentially we could be in a bigger flat off of this peak, which would be 3, and then we would get 5 down to here to finish this move. And then of course there's the moon, we just moon from here, no pullback. And that would probably be Bitcoin bottomed, and it's just going to go. And we could even be in a 1-2, 1-2, and we blow through these levels. So those are the possible paths. So you have 2 out of 3 paths that have Bitcoin topping and pulling back dramatically, and one path where it doesn't. And that's kind of where we are with Bitcoin right now. So those are the options, I think. The path where we moon, I'm actually concerned about that. I don't think that has anything to do with the economy. I think that could be a sign of runaway inflation. If we get this, there's no dip and it goes into moon boy, and we go, massive gains. I think we could also see as a dramatic drop in the value of our dollar, breaking the bear flag. I've talked about the historic bear flag, and everything priced in nominal terms will benefit, including markets. It's a melt up of everything, but then if you price the market in terms of gold and Bitcoin, you're actually losing value. So it's only an illusion that you're gaining money on the indexes. Again, that's why the indexes could still be a bad trade. Even if we're going to moon, you may not be gaining any purchasing power staying in the indexes like you would be if you were in harder assets. I think silver, gold, and crypto will outperform if we moon, because I bet that's the market getting into an inflationary spiral. We just don't know yet because our lagging indicators haven't reported it. I also could see interest rates also spiking, and that's what we see here playing out on this massive push higher, and again, either we reverse here or we blow through 6% to go to unthinkable levels. So I think be careful what we wish for. I've always said that. Every bull that has talked about moon boy, we're just going to the moon, there's no pullback, bye the Tommy Lee forecast. Be careful what you wish for, because gas and everything else could be so expensive. Steak, you go to the store, you may not be able to buy anything with all your winnings in the market. So I worry about moon boy scenario, to be honest, but it is possible. And that would be an inflationary crisis, and the country's never faced that kind of crisis in its history, and that actually makes it more likely to happen since it's something we've never faced. So we could be walking into it without the right mindset. We're so afraid of deflation because we have, the Great Depression, we have the '09 crisis, Bernanke's, wrote papers on this. There's so much history on deflation. So my God, we're so ready for deflation. We're ready to print and print and print. But maybe we just forgot about the other side of that coin, and now we're going to have to live through this crisis, and then our future generations will learn from our mistakes that we're making, that we've made and we're making right now. So don't rule out a massive inflationary cycle that we could be on the cusp of. Don't think that's crazy talk. Gold, look at where gold and Bitcoin, you have $105,000 per coin Bitcoin. That's insane to think about. We got to this level, and if we do blow through 132, we could see 250, 350,000 Bitcoin. It's crazy to think, but that's that is telling you the fiat monetary system is in a meltdown. These things are happening. Gold will probably trade to $5,000-$6,000 an ounce. Silver $60-$70 an ounce. The average Joe in their closet has some silver, and they're going to start wondering, when this price keeps going up, like, maybe I need to buy more silver and not keep these worthless dollar bills around. And that's what's going to start to happen, and that's just going to make it worse. All right, that's enough of the market overview. Watch the Japanese yen as well. That's a key, and that is still in this crash formation. It's still treading water. When this wave comes from here to here, the markets are likely to sell off, and maybe substantially. Okay, let's go to your questions, guys. And thanks again for joining. Sorry it's so early, but it's just only time I could do it. I'll look at UNH at the end if I can remember it. All right. Okay, so let's go to our requested stocks and see what we've got going on. Brazil. So Brazil is really tied to energy, emerging market trade. Again, we have to look at where oil's going. Let's just take a step back. So we only have three down. Okay. Now I'm going to see why I had this box down here. So a couple possibilities. One, we have a push higher, right? And we have three down, and then a connector, only three up, and then we have this crash wave, looks like three up, and that's why I was looking for like one more swing down. But this is in the middle area, right? It's in the middle of the middle of the middle of the middle. It's like the most indecisive point, but it's at an inflection point, right? Just like almost looks like Platinum's chart, but over, this is over 30 years. So when this breaks out, it'll be a huge breakout, many years of gains, probably mean energy is going to surge, which we know will happen. So I think, I'm showing this forecast, but we are seeing oil moving higher, but I still predict oil will have another dip lower. I don't know if it's going to be able to do something like this anymore. I think that may be too bearish. So let's just take a look at the RSI and see what we have going on the monthly. So obviously that's the low. We could try to force a 5 waves on that with a low, and you see that looks like only 3 up. So maybe off of this peak here, I can force a 5 wave move. You call this a low here, and maybe we could force like a 1-2. Again, it's not the preferred view. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. So to me, this is going to be a connector. It's a middle wave. It's a middle wave connector. So I think it's gonna go probably a little bit higher, because oil is gonna build its connector and then take another swing down. So it's very similar in a lot of ways. So let's see here. Maybe it does something like that. And that's 5 up. Something like that. So I'd look for something like this, and then maybe it could turn into something like this later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is over years, right? And it can turn into something like this. And then comes out. So I think that's what we'll go with. And then I think that makes a little more sense. Yeah, we'll do something like that. ABC, ABC. I'm sorry, 5 up on this, and then pull back, and then another 5 up. So I would look for something like this. And once you break 32.74, I think you'll get a big push higher. So this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking right now. Okay. I think it's too bearish. I think we've eliminated the deflationary collapse. I think the governments, I think maybe 2 or 3 months ago, that was a possible path. Fiscal prudence, Doge committee, cut, tough talk. But I think that's all behind us now. I think it's all about money printing and goosing the markets at all costs, lowering rates, pressuring, doing all that and pumping growth. So I think the governments have said, no, we're not going to take this path anymore at all costs. We're going to take this path no matter, screw inflation. So I think we're going to have to look at it from this point of view. I think this is too deflationary unless, there's a massive recession, but it just does not look like that's going to happen. It does not seem like there's a big recession out there. It seems like there's a lot of money sloshing around the system, a lot of growth that could be coming, that is in progress. The economy's still pretty strong. And it just doesn't seem to me that you're getting a massive downturn in the world economy, and the governments are just not taking that path. They're going to stimulate even, China, pushing out liquidity throughout the market. Every government in the world wants growth. And Germany's building and putting in a lot of money into their economy now and building out their military, which they've never done in a long time. So you got all this growth. You have AI and corporations pumping. So I don't think that this massive recession, there may be a recession on Main Street, but I think what drives all these stocks and stuff is not they're going to be doing well enough to push energy and push this higher. There was a possibility for a recessionary conclusion to this. I just don't see it happening unless the Fed surprises and does do the Paul Volcker. The Fed can still come in, give Trump the middle finger, and raise rates tremendously to extinguish an inflation scare. And if Paul has the guts to do that, well, then he could create a recession, and then this could reverse and show that other path. So I think this is the path we'll go with. All right, SPGI. Let's take a look at what we have here. Looks like we're just continuing this impulse. Let's take a look at what we have. Looks like we made 3 up here. Looking at it. Yeah, I think we'd have to call that 5. It only looks like 3, but let's look at the subdivisions. Sometimes the waves aren't that symmetrical. This peak did exceed. I could go like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see, there's a little bit of divergence. So I think we just put that 5 there. It's not perfect, but it is exactly what we would expect. And then we need a fifth wave. that isn't finished yet. That's really just about to get a wave 3. So this is about to have a big push higher. This looks like the rest of the market. It looks like you have some kind of 1 2 1 2 here. I would probably label it this way. You see how it peaked to reset the whole cycle here. You reset the whole cycle. Maybe it's going to be an end in diagonal. I think we'd just do it as an end in diagonal where you have like some kind of ABC for 1 2 3 4 5, and it will just move in like, in like 3 waves. It's just going to move in 3 waves as an end in diagonal coming out is what I would expect, and then that's it. That's all she wrote, right? Unless it can erase divergence. Looks like we still have another 3 here, so maybe not the end, right? So it's still still has more upside even after that peak happens. But this consolidation should take years to play out. Look at all the bearish divergence. Look at all that bearish divergence. So yeah, this is unless there's an unknown catalyst to make this explode higher, it's pretty much over. It's almost over, and that's it. All right. My guess, I think there is. It's hard to calculate it exactly, but I believe on the TLT the level is what we have, what I've had here when we go back and look at. It's been a long time. Here, let me see the TLT. Here it is right there, around 78, 76. Again, this is the expectation with the TLT. There's no reason to change this view. I haven't changed it in essentially years, if you've been following me. And here, this will be the surprise, right? This could be the surprise where you come in here and they whipsaw it back up, only then, and then you get the cataclysmic crisis down to 32. The TLT's toast, guys. So it's a trading vehicle only at this point. It's a trading vehicle only. But I think this is an opportunity to try to play the whipsaw, because think about it. If you don't get the whipsaw, you're looking at a massive crisis that will emerge this summer. And I bet they'll find a way to kick the can down the road. That's what this is. And then once the can's kicked down the road, that gives them more time, which is what they need. And then the crisis won't emerge right away, and this will fade. And then right about here, Trump's like, goodbye, guys. See you later, alligator. New guy comes in, and it's his problem to deal with. And that's what will probably happen. So that's what this kind of chart shows, is like kicking the can down the road one last time. And let the next president deal with all the mess that comes with it, the next administration. And I keep saying it may not be a Republican administration in 4 years. We all think it will be. It may not be. We don't know what the public's going to do, who they're going to blame, what's going to happen. What if it's all Democrats again? Whatever happens in this crisis, they're going to have the political momentum to change it, or because they'll have to. The whole government will collapse. Like, you can't have the debt, and the whole thing collapse. So there'll be massive decisions made, and everybody will just have to vote approve. And that's what happened with every country that's been in that sovereign debt crisis, right? And that's how they get through all their austerities and crazy radical changes that they make, because the alternative is collapse of the government, and so they can't have that. So my advice to Republicans is take advantage of your majority now, and do what you can, because later on you may not like who's in office. Now there could be still MAGA, maybe Vance wins in the future, and everything's cool, but they may not be. But if this doesn't happen, this bounce, the crisis is going to come this summer into the fall, and then I guess Trump and them will get a chance to fix it. they'll have to fix it, because if they don't, if they just let rates go to 10%, we'll default on our debt, and everything, the whole system will collapse on itself. And that's got to be this to me has got to be a hyperinflationary crisis if this happens. And this is probably some kind of kick the can down the road like solution, and maybe the Fed's involved in that. And they have other ways they can deal with this potentially, unless they want it to happen, right? They let it happen again. So just keep an eye on this. When we get to here, gold and silver could reverse, Bitcoin could reverse, the dollar index could start to rise again. All those things can happen potentially in this situation. And the markets may go down even, but they don't have to. They can actually go up, and I think they could go up. I think what will happen is you'll get, some kind of stabilization of whatever is pushing rates down here, and then that eventually fails again. So good luck on that. But that's the TLT. So right around here is what I'm looking for. In the Nifty, so the Nifty, let's take a look at the Nifty, guys. They had that little flare up with Pakistan, and they're jammed up in the sell box. And they have, like the indices, they haven't been able to figure out. They're kind of treading water. As you can see, I have this count, but it easily can flip, right? So this could be on the verge of a cliff looking down, but it may not be, right? It may not be. And so if it isn't, what's the alternative view? So again, I still have it in a 4, okay? Which means it's going to go higher, right? I keep saying the markets eventually go to 5, right? But the path to get there is not clear from an indices standpoint. So we could see what I just showed. If for some reason it truncated and we're finished, right? This would probably be like a 1-2, 1-2, right? And we'll just break out in a 3, a 5. The other possibility is it's just one impulse, and it's just kind of an extended wave 1, and it does something like that. It's kind of a weird looking impulse, and it's either in a 2 or we drop back down a little bit and do something like that. So it is in the area where if it's gonna reverse, this is the area it would happen. I think it's not a coincidence. It's jammed up in here since May 12th. So it's gone nowhere for almost a month. Why hasn't it gone higher? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just waiting to sell off, right? I don't know why. I mean, is there no buyers? Obviously, the buyers have not been able to take out these levels for some reason. And this is the level where you would expect it to reverse. And so I would just be careful, because it can easily collapse at any moment. It can, and I just don't know. I think this is a tough one. I think though, if you can break this high right here, then I think it does open up more upside. And then you probably have to start thinking about the 4s in here, right? And this is a very unusual correction, right? Look how short that Y leg was compared to the W, but the market sometimes does that, and it is what it is. So just good luck on that. But right now, that view is not supported by the data. If I show it going higher, it's what I wish it to be, and that's not what the data is showing at the moment. But we're right on the edge. It's right on the edge. So I would prefer to just stay on the sidelines and just kind of let this play out a little more. Yeah, I'll do that. Gold and silver. Yeah, I was just looking at the long-term charts. Just kind of, it's always good to take a perspective on long-term charts once in a while. Gold, the long-term chart on gold looks something like this. Remember, you see the kind of the parabolic 1970s into the 80s, right? The massive inflationary period the U.S. faced, where gold went all the way basically from $100 to somewhere around 848, so almost 10 times here, and then the massive consolidation, and then you have another 1-2, another 1-2, 1-2, and so we're in a 3 of 3. This is the 3 of 3 moment. Now, I tried to draw a channel here, and if you look back in the 70s, we also could have drawn a channel. And what happens is once you break out of the channel, it goes. That's the parabolic move, and we know we're in the parabolic phase of the advance, right? And we're about to potentially break out of the channel. So if we can break out of this channel, this is why it was got resistance here. This is why it got rejected, right? It hit the channel, broke down. If we can break through this channel, it has a chance to go vertical and then finish these sequences. But as you can see, these sequences need more upside, and this upside could last for a long time because these 4s could last for years. So the 4s and 5s, like if you look at this advance, these consolidations when they happen take a while. This takes a while. This was from 75 to 70, so about a year here, okay? A year here. So when we get these 4s and 5s, we could consolidate for a long time, but you would still want to hold it. So we're at a very critical moment with gold, because if it does get rejected on the channel, you'd have to put the 3 in here, and you'll have some kind of 4, right? And it's probably going to struggle on this channel, right? And this may top out here, right? And then we may have to wait for 5 here to get out of the channel. So we may have to consolidate for some time like this, and then push out of it later, right? It's just an idea or something like that. But I like to stay long. The path is clear. The momentum's going to help build the market higher, and we want to continue on it. If you look at the RSI, we haven't even taken out these monthly peaks that happened in the 70s. So as bullish as it's been, it can get even more bullish on the monthly cycle. More like it got almost to like an RSI of 100. I mean, so we can go even higher, and then even as it faded, the price still went up tenfold, right? So even getting to those extreme RSIs, gold's RSI is going to fade and create those divergences as it peaks in 5, but the price could still continue its parabolic advance. That's how much momentum will carry it. That's why you don't want to sell it and you just need to kind of hold through it. But right now we're in a moment where it can either get jammed up here and consolidate for another year or so, or it can break out and then we're going vertical, and you really just won't know where it will end. Honestly, you just don't know the circumstances, and I'm sure people back here didn't know that it was going to go from $253 to $900 in a period of what looks like 4 months. So that was a 3 times. So could gold go to about $10,000 an ounce? Is gold going to be in October $10,000 an ounce? We don't know. It seems unthinkable, but I'm sure it seemed unthinkable in the 70s too. People saying that. Now silver, different chart, but a lot more bullish. If you are a chart pattern trader, this is one of the most bullish setups you can imagine, with this massive cup and handle that goes all the way back to the 1980s. It's the only commodity that's below its price that it was in 1980. It's the cheapest commodity that exists, but it's not cheap because it's just all over the place. I can just go outside and pick up silver rocks and shit like that. No, it's because it's being suppressed. There's massive shorting. Massive short. There's naked shorts manipulated this market for many years, and that will unravel rapidly, and it will revert to whatever price it should be trading, and God knows what that is. Looking at this chart, I wouldn't be surprised to see it trade into the $200-300 an ounce when this blows off. If you can see here, again, what happens when you break out of these massive consolidation periods. Like here you had one. This one goes back for a long time. Once you break out, we are like $2-3 an ounce, and it essentially goes vertical, pulls back, and then you get the 5. The 5 is where you want to be in silver, and we're not in the 5. We haven't even started the wave 3. Wait till we get to the 5s. So what you want to understand is when silver gets going, it goes into what I call berserk mode, and it goes crazy. But it needs the 5 to do that. The 3 will, I think we get to 48, we pull back, we break out to 68, 72, and then I think there'll be a massive pullback down to retest this level, and a lot of traders will leave the trade, but that will be the 4, and then I think you get the 5. And so I think that's kind of the setup I'm seeing, but it's going to take years to play out. It should not, but I can't, as you can see, August 10th, May 11th, so 1 year, it made its big move here around March 79, February 80, 1 year. So 1 year from today, summer of 26, could we be at $80 an ounce? We might be. So I don't know. I think it's just, I think you just want to stay long and don't let this chop take you out of the market, because again, we could still chop around here. It's a fight, but it's a fight worth winning. And I think the path is clear. The shorts will lose control of the market. And I believe once that happens, the price will rapidly inflate. And we'll hear about it on TV, and there'll be market makers that will need to be bailed out, that will be caught on the other side of that trade. They may be the ones that has shorted it and be blown up. We've seen this before in other commodities that have been suppressed, and sometimes they actually stop trading, and they let these entities off the hook, and then the momentum dies. And it's not fair, but that could even happen here to save the system. Because what if, just hypothetically, with a big, well-known bank, I don't know, and I'm just throwing a name out. Let's say a J.P. Morgan short in silver, and we don't know, and then all of a sudden they're blown up, and their bank's about to go under because they decided to lever up on their short, and now what are they going to do? With JP, it's too big to fail, so the system won't allow that, the market makers. So that's what I'm saying. We don't know what banks and entities have been short in this. They've been keeping it down because, again, it's a psychological thing to allow the monetary system to be sound to the average person. But once silver gets going, who's going to want to hold dollars? No one's going to want dollars, and that's what they know that. The banks know that. This is a representation of the financial system, and it gives people confidence in fiat money. And once silver and gold's already gone, but once silver gets going, then that's when the average Joe all of a sudden notices and pays attention, and then they lose confidence in fiat money. Then you have the hyperinflation. So the banks do everything they can to keep this from happening. And but I believe the chart is telling you they're going to end up failing. They're going to end up in failure. So this is the path long term. But once this comes out, there's no reason to even think of selling it, and it will be tough to know when the right time is to actually get rid of it. I'm thinking it's $300 an ounce, but I could be wrong. It could be it may be a little less than that, but we need to let this play out and just be aggressive with fighting and buying it. We did flip a major support here to resistance is now support, right around this $34 level, right around here. Okay, so every time we've come up here, we've kind of been jammed down, right? Now we're above this level. The next real area of resistance is right around where we are now. Then we have 42, and after 42, it's the highs of 50 and out. So there's not a lot of resistance left. It reminds me of Bitcoin when it came out of this situation here. I remember no one thought we'd ever break 19,000 again or 20,000. And it came out, but then as we were coming out here, and we started breaking this 14 and 15. Right when we started breaking this area of resistance became support right around here, everyone was like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe I thought I'd never see this. And that's where we are with silver. Silver is like here. We're like here in silver. We just flipped major resistance into support. So why would you sell your silver right here? Or why would you have sold your Bitcoin here? And then the next is here, consolidate under the all-time high, and then once it goes, it goes, and that's what's going to happen. So this is a very important moment for silver being able to break this level, this $34 level here. Okay, it's very important doing that. And now, if it can hold it, it's still like to see it get a little bit higher. Where it just like when Bitcoin was starting to come back to test this hot, just the same situation psychologically is starting to happen. People are going to start to believe, like, oh my gosh, it's possible. And I believe me, if you're short silver, you're probably having a panic attack right now. And hopefully they've been able to get out of their positions, because this is pretty obvious of what's about to happen. All right. Thanks for that. Let's go to the next question. MP. Material Core. Looking good. Don't want to sell that anymore here. Oh, my bad. I thought it was something else. Never mind. I thought this was another chart. I had this mixed up with something else. Oh, I'm on my long term. That's why it's no chart. I get back to my short term charts. Wait a minute. I was like, I've had this charted. I had MP charted. And it was like, wait a minute. I know MP. I thought maybe I mixed it up with something. There it is. Yeah, MP. So MP's charted. MP made a flat. It's finished the flat, and it's coming out. So MP's got a lot of gains coming, and I'm just kind of going with this safe count right now. Try to get a little dip by here. Looks like it's truncated, so now it looks like, I think that's kind of the path, but I can't rule out a 1-2-1-2 and it just takes off. But obviously that's the low. It did hit the level. The count was a little different than we had on the subdivisions, but the market, the market doesn't care about Elliott waves in the end. It's just going to care about these levels mostly. But the idea is still the same. You've got, it looks pretty impulsive coming down with a flat. There's no reason, again, there's no reason to sell this. There's no reason to be cute with this, right? This looks like probably some kind of inverse head and shoulders that will play out. If you're lucky, you can get this pullback to get in on it. But if you missed it, you missed it, right? If you didn't get it here, you missed it, and that's just the way it goes. You did get a pullback here. That would be okay to dip by that, I would think, if you wanted to go long. If you had been long, you just stay long. This is one you don't sell for a long time. All right, next is, and of course this is a miner and metal. Carvana. Surprised this is strong, but I think it's strong because a lot of the younger generation love this company and they use it. I'm surprised because I've tried to buy cars with these guys and the interest rates are crazy high. So you have to bring your own financing, and you have to buy you have to pay shipping, or you can't even see the car if they don't have it there. And to me, it's just kind of crazy way to buy a car. I guess I'm too old fashioned. This is getting pushed too high. I think this is getting pushed too high. Let's take a look at where we are with it. We had a 3-wave move, and then we have this elaborate connector. Let me just see if it's too high or not. No, it still can reverse. It could still reverse. So it's still in danger in this area of a reversal, which we know most of the market should do. So I think you got to be careful for a rug pull. The higher high does mean, though, in the future it's gonna be resolved higher. So in the future, it's gonna go higher. But I think you have to be careful. You could still have a drop, like a dramatic pullback. But this 5 up looks like it's over, coming to an end at any moment. So you'll either get a pullback down to 275 and a big pump, or you're going to crash down. It's just like the market. It's the same forecast, right? It's going to be basically the same idea as the market, where you either pull back, go to new highs, or it just crashes down and makes a 2. And I wish I knew which one it would be. I just don't know. But I think this is your likely situation ahead of you. But I do think even if it does this crash back down, it's going to come out. So you have to decide based on this. You have to decide where you want to go with it. You want to get this? Do you want to play that? But ultimately, I think because of the higher high sequence, it's going to go into a new cycle higher, whether we feel like it deserves to or not. Because I do know a lot of people love Carvana. They love it. To them, it's so they click a couple buttons and they have their car, and I mean that's cool. It's just not something I would ever buy. I like to go look at my cars and check them out, and I can get better interest rates than the high rates that they offer, and it's just a lot. Just not something I would ever do, but I guess a lot of the younger generation loves this shit, loves it, and maybe that's what this is saying. This is the future, right? Maybe higher rates. I think the crash path would be rates go higher, right? Because I mean, if interest rates are going higher, people can't buy cars typically, right? No matter what. So I think that's what this path represents. My guess. I don't know. I can't. I'm not going to correlate it with interest rates because it seems to be uncorrelated at the moment. I think it's just popular. I think it is just a popular thing that people like. All right. Maybe there's something else part of their business that we don't know about. Maybe there's a new angle that their business is getting into. A new. I don't know. Maybe I don't think they're talking about robo taxis and shit like that. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know enough about the company fundamentally to know why it would go up. Other than it doesn't seem like something I would want to invest in or buy. But people like it for some reason. People like it. All right. Let's go to Tesla. Tesla is one we watch on the Pro Group. Tesla, I've had this very bearish view chart, right? Where you have 3 down, 3 up, and then another 3 down, going to about $100. Now, obviously, when we were here or here, this seemed like paranoia, and now maybe it doesn't seem so paranoid anymore. But there's a massive decision point here. But the problem is the path we got here is too quick. Okay, we are in a difficult situation right now. This could be an impulsive move down, right? Could easily be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you could get a bounce, and then another low, right? And that would retest this low. Something like that. But if we break this low, then the path is clear. This is the path, right? We'll do something like this. It would bounce again, right? And then it would come back down again. So do something like that. So that's one path, right? That's one path. And if this was going to be the path, this is exactly how I would envision it starting, right? This is exactly how I envision it would start for the bearish path. Now, the other path is something more bullish, which is you have 3 waves down, and it's a massive low, and we just go higher from here. Okay, so your key level is 273.40. If you can stay above that, there is a possibility for that path, and then you have a 1, 2. Right, and then that should get you above. Once that path plays out, that should get you above to 4.6, probably 484, maybe even $500. So it's important to know. So do you just buy it here? You could, and put your stop at 273 and try to play that pump, and that would be a massive gain. Or you wait for more data, and I would rather wait for more data. Let this play out more. We know the market could pull back in 2 out of 3 scenarios, which means it will probably break this low, which could create the bigger move. So I think it's better idea to expect something like this, and then either you hold the low or you break it. And maybe you hold it, maybe you break it, I don't know. And then we can decide. What I'd rather do, I'd rather see it bounce here and then make another low. If we did something like this, then I'd like to buy that. I'd like to buy that and see a nice connector where you can project this target above this high. That would be the best setup, and that would be a great long opportunity. So the most likely path is right now on the short term is something like this for now. Even if we break this low, I think it would be 5 and we would still rally back up. But I don't want to trade this because it could be a 5 and a rally hard. It could be rally hard and go back down, or it could just be we continue to crash into this wave. So buying here is not advised. It's advised to just be patient and let it play out and get some data, and then hopefully we can eliminate and come up with a better setup than just buying it randomly here and praying and losing sleep overnight like I see guys on the internet doing, holding Tesla calls or puts, and they're praying and they don't know, and it's because this is just buying it at a random moment in time right now. And honestly, we could go down hard here. We could pump and go down. We could just break it and come back up. All of those paths are possible. All those paths are possible, right? And even the path where it's made a low and it just keeps going up. So there's basically it's a casino. I call it the casino play. You can just roll the dice, and maybe you get lucky, or maybe you crap out and you lose all your money, and that's the way it goes. So my advice with Tesla is to just wait and let this develop more. You're not missing anything. Okay? You're just be patient. Just wait. Let it develop. Let the market develop a better, clearer picture here. Okay? But if I was thinking we were going to get this crash scenario that I was showing here, this is exactly how I would have expected it to start. And I would actually want to see it break this low and continue to extend lower and have the first wave come all the way down to like 231. And then consolidate and make a head and shoulders. A left shoulder, a head, a right shoulder, and break it. That's if I was the bear, that's what I would want to see. So I want to see it not bounce anymore. I want to see it just go down and keep going, then bounce, and then floodgates. That's what I'd want to see. But I wouldn't count on it yet. But this is exactly the way I would expect it to start, just like I see it now. I would say, great. It looks like this is the path, but it's not all clear, obviously, based on what I said. And the market doesn't. And that's why this market kind of stopped in this middle area. But there's talk, Trump and Musk are going to make up and all this, and Musk's sorry, and Trump needs Musk and all this, and I don't know. And, I hate Trump, and I think it's just noise. I think it's all noise. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, if Tesla can pull out their robots and robo-taxis and make that happen, the market will go higher because it's going to make them a lot of money, right? And if they can't do that, and that's all just talk and bullshit, or Trump does something to make that illegal, or he pulls something that, a card out of, pays back, does some kind of payback using his flex of the government power, which he can do, which we've never seen really done in our country. But I mean, he could try crazy shit. I mean, getting agencies after him and doing counseling thing. That would probably be this path, right? That would be that path. So unfortunately, we don't know the minds of what Trump really wants to do here, and then we don't know really, is Elon just pumping shit that's not going to happen anytime soon, or is he really ready to go with some of these things? Unfortunately, we just don't know yet. Okay, ARQQ, let's take a look at that real quick. ARQQ. Quantum stocks look like they were starting to rally today. I'll rally again. Let's take a look at where we are. with them. So we definitely wanted to see this still come out in 3. Let's take a look at where we are with this. Are we still in B or not? Let's see what's going on here. So there's our 5 down. There's our 3 up. So this is kind of the path I have now. Let me just kind of take another look at this here. So we're in this connector wave, but I bet we've come off the low now. So we had this buy here. We came up in 3. We came down in 3, and we just broke the low. I mean, again, let's look at our RSI. See, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but I think obviously it's in a bull cycle. I worry that you're in something like this, but I do think that as you know, a connector wave could just keep going, right? So we could just label it bullish off of this low until we don't need to. So the key level is on 32.85. It looks like here we need 3 waves up. Here you have almost like 5 up. You have 5 up. So that means we should get another wave higher off of this peak, right? You have something like this, right? So my guess is you have an ABC forming off of this level. Something like this. And I would still be careful for a massive decline. Now we know the reason I worry about this decline is when I look at Qubit's chart, which is kind of the same type of trade. We have one more high in 5, and then we're at 5 of 5, the end, right? One more pump, and then we should see another dramatic pullback. So I think, and again, this is 5 off the low, right? So I think unless we can erase divergence, I do think quantum's got a massive pullback coming. But that would be buyable because the path is clear. It's higher. It's 5 waves up on both of these. So no matter what happens here, you have to play the long game. The long game, okay? And they're going to try to take you out of your position because they don't. Something about quantum is really going to catch fire in the 26 post 26 era. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's more proven technology than we think. It's more mainstream ready than we think. I don't know what it is, but there's a reason these things are doing what they're doing. But I think you get another push higher, just like I'm showing here, and then a pullback, and then even more upside. But the question is this pump, like what's gonna, how high, what can it do? The problem I have here is how we bottomed, okay. But on the other hand, it's like I can force 2 in here. I can force it, right? I can force it. So I think just play the upside. Just play the upside over as long as you're above $20.80. I would just play the upside on this, and we just broke higher high here. So I would just be playing the upside and just kind of let that wave develop. Let that wave develop. That's how I would look at it. The only other alternative view here I can think of that's bearish would be like an A, B, C, where this is a big connector, and then it just it fails, right? It fails, but it would have to fail pretty much right where we are now. And it looks like, based on that chart and based on the other one, it doesn't look like, it looks like we've already almost broke through that level. So I don't know if the super bearish chart would play out. So I think this is what I would expect. I think you got one more high at least in this trade, and then something happens. This is probably that market. Remember the market sell-off? This could be, the last little like hurrah with the market, and then you got that next 45-day period, which I said, the Dow could go to 39,000. The SPY could go to 520. It could even break the lows still potentially. That's what this represents. Whenever that happens, right? And that's what this represents. And again, we don't know how deep, what it's going, but there'll be a pullback. It's gonna be a pullback, and that's probably gonna be a market-wide pullback. But I think you got more upside coming, and then the pullback. Right, and then that should do it. So we'll have to just let that play out and see where it goes from there. All right. Martin, I asked for AMP. I can't find where to pay. Not really sure how I can help you on that, but I'll get to yours at the end if I still have time. What price action tells you this week on MLGO? Is it still bullish or the upside move off the table? Let me take a look at that real quick for you. MLGO is I have to always look at what sector is. I don't remember exactly what it does here. All right, it's some kind of tech play, small micro cap, 79 mil. So you see how we broke that low, so the bullish setup's lost, but I don't think it's yeah, you see we did have 5 swings, but because we'll have to label it a corrective move, a triple. Triples are rare, but they happen, so that's what must have happened here. So now we have another impulse off this low that has to play out now. Let me see where we are with it. All right, and now you have to go down in 5 waves. It looks like that cycle ended right there. And then you broke the low. So it looks like, and this is what this is showing, it looks like you have some kind of push lower coming. Right, this looks like to me some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have another 1, 2, and now we're in 2. So if you go higher, it's because you're still in wave 2. Now you didn't make it to the wave 4 area to 140. So you can't rule out a swing higher next week to 140. You can't rule it out, but I believe that swing, if it happens and does something like that, it will probably fail, most likely, for a bigger push lower down to 81 cents before it could end a bigger cycle later. So I think this is possible, but I can't rule out the 2's already done. Because it looks like though we only have 3 down. So the market's going to make that decision on Monday whether you're going to get this move in C or not. If it's C, and the likely level would probably be 140. But since you're correcting the whole move, it could theoretically go as hot, all the way back up here, which won't be likely, but it could. So I think we'll go with something like this, and then another pullback. And again, the market should be pulling back. And I believe, that would hurt everything, right? So I think something like this is probably what you have coming. The bullish move off the upside isn't off the table. It's maybe off the table for the next 45 days. But then when this is finished, it's just gonna do the same thing. It's gonna do something like this, but probably even stronger, because there'll be a higher degree corrective move. So I think. But I think short term, you may get this Monday or Tuesday. C, right? But that would likely fail, and that could go, I think at least to 140, $1.40 here, but it could go higher. But I believe it resolves lower because you broke these lows now. All right. Anyway, CEC, let's take a look at that on and Bayer on the XETR. All right, So looking at this one here, you've got a connector and then another low. Again, it's not a lot of data to really, chart it properly. Unfortunately, it does look like, to me, you have some kind of A, B, C, right? You may have made a major low here or not. It's again, it's hard to tell. This cycle ended. It looks like you're 5 off the low, so we'll just assume you're bullish off of this bottom. It looks like you made five waves off this low here. Put the 5 in a lot of different places, and we're pulling back. So it should go higher. You should get another swing higher at least, but then after that, after this 3, there's always a chance it could come back and break the lows. And in fact, this too could be done. Maybe not yet. It's not. So if it keeps pumping higher, it could extend 5. But 2 would probably want to drop it to 219 here, right here, and then that would be the area. So just it could be in a correction here, and that could be a connector wave. So it could do something like this, and then get that 2, but it doesn't have to. But I think that's kind of the likely path. And then you go from there. All right, and then Bayer. Is that right? Yeah, Bayer. Grinding lower, but let's take a look at what's going on here, bigger picture. So we're obviously looking at the end of a cycle, right? So once we see a bigger push higher, we know the 2's in, regardless of the count, because we're at the end of the cycle. So the question is, how close are we, and have we ended it yet? So if you look, this wave is finished on the weekly. Let's look at the monthly. We're not there yet, but so there's a couple possibilities. More than likely, the low is in right here. Looking at the weekly cycle. If it isn't, then C is going to extend, and this is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to go to 0. So basically, this has to be the low, or it's going to 0. It's going out of business, and I don't know why it would do that. I know it's got some issues, but so I think if you believe in the company, you have to buy it here, like right here, as a long-term investor. I don't know. I can't see it going lower unless there's some kind of bankruptcy crisis that, some kind of crisis that's going to hit this company that that's no one knows about yet. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why it would do that now. I don't like this little extra swing lower, but I mean, again, I can just move the count around to make it work. We could always move this count around slightly. And this is kind of one of the frustrations with Elliott waves, right? Is you can kind of do this, but I think the low's in. I think the low's in based on the RSI analysis, and the alternate. And if it's not, then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's gone. It's going to 0. So if you believe in the company and long-term prospects as an investor, you just buy it, and you tuck it away in your piggy bank and give it to your grandkids one day as inheritance, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're such a genius for buying this." That's where it is. That's the type of price level it is. Could be a historic low right now, if you believe in it. And again, I don't know enough about the company, but I do know it's got its issues, right? It's got its issues. I mean, I hear about some of the lawsuits and stuff, which I don't know. I don't know, guys. All right, let's take a look at NAK. NAK is another mineral miner. Oh yeah, look at that guy. All right, so let's take a look. We just kind of count the waves. See, that 4 is a little too deep to be a 4. Probably change the labeling a little bit. Yeah, see how we took out all the divergence there. Let's take a step back. Weekly. So we're in a 1 cycle. Another cycle. So more than likely, that's a 3. So so probably label it this way. See if that makes sense. So again, I would stay long. I wouldn't leave this trade at all. And if it erases divergence, it'll just keep extending, and this will become another 1-2. If we can take this peak out, which it may do that. And I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. So as you can see, there's a lot more upside still to come in these charts that I'm showing. If this plays out, and if we erase divergence, this would be a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and we're about to have a very explosive move higher. It looks like we're coming out of some long-term downtrend line. I must have drawn that. Yeah, breaking out. I wonder if you get. I wonder if you get something big, something like that, even. Yeah, these metal and miners, guys, whew, they're looking good. I'll give you guys another setup on that. You see, this could be a connector. This could be an absolute gift. The market may give you this dip to 111, 107. So keep an eye on that as a buy opportunity right here. Right there. Okay, keep an eye on that opportunity, and that's one I'll keep an eye on too. If we get this kind of dip, I like that trade, because you've got the sequences here, and you've got the 3 waves, and the risk is really not that much compared to the reward. So the risk to reward ratio is really strong. So if the market can dip and back test this, like breakout, so almost like what it would be doing, then that would be a good setup. That's a good setup. Is about 250 to 3. My target is, yeah, you may have to expand your target, but I'll let you do what's best for you, man. But I think the first target, that does seem reasonable if this is the count. But if it erases divergence, it's going to go beyond your target. It's going to go beyond your target if it can erase divergence. So this is the tough part about trading, is when to sell, not just when to buy, because but I always say sell. You sell when you always take some money off the table, and then you sell a position when you can use that money in another trade somewhere else that's even a better setup than what you've got. That's another way of looking at it. And the thing is I've never been sad taking profit, but we have taken profit early. If you followed me on some big pumpers that looking back, we had no clue they were going to become like meme stocks like Palantir. I think our channel, we called the low at $8 in Palantir and bought it. I personally bought it, wrote it to, I think in 20 something like that, and I sold it, and now look at it. So it's like you just don't know how high a stock can go. And it's like, okay, didn't know that. Robinhood was another one that I think we bought at the absolute lows and probably sold that in the 30s, 40s. Now look at it. So I think, so you just don't know. Like when the mania hits, you have no idea how high these things can go. So always take some profit, but then you have to think about, the bigger picture. And I just kind of talked about the bigger picture. So I think you just kind of have to understand that a little bit too. And but always, like I say, do what's best for you. But I wouldn't be surprised if that target is breached in the future. Okay. All right, guys. They have a subscription rental model where everything's going to be, this is Carvana, a subscription rental model where everything is going to be rented for cheap, even furniture as of now, but later, who knows? Well, maybe the market is saying that's going to be the winner. I don't know. See, that's what I figured. It must have been another strategy they're pursuing that the market is already anticipating and pricing in. So that's probably would be it. Interesting. All right, AS, Amir Sports. Let's look at that. You made a higher high off of a big push. That's your 3 of 3. That's your correction. It looks like some kind of 1-2-1-2 setup here. This is a classic. That would be the classic Elliott wave view, but I think looking at that, the strength of that momentum, my guess is it's going to be an extension in 3 here, and you're going to have something like this play out. And this impulse looks like it's in a 4-5. It's tough, and this is typically wave 3s. The pullbacks are so small, the volatility is not that strong, so it's tough to chart it. Yeah, it's probably a 4, something like that. So you probably have something like this, and then a pullback, and then a big move higher. So I would be looking for something like this. I think you'll get a 5 wave. You're probably in a 5 wave right now. And I would just, continue to see it go higher. Now this could still dip down in this 3 wave move, and then 5, and then a pullback in 2, and then continuation. I don't think this is a grand super cycle 5. Because of the momentum doesn't have the right look for that. So I think it's going to continue to extend. All right. NVAX. Yeah, I think there's I know they've partnered with some big pharma, and they've got this vaccine approval situation. So we called the low in here. So we're building off of this too. Looks like you've got 3 and 3. I would be looking for, so this could be a couple things. It could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a big pullback, and then vertical. Or it could be a connector for this entire move, which would pretty much make it a go to 0. So I think the level it's got to hold is right around here. Right around this level. Looks like we've bounced enough. Let me just confirm that. It looked like that, but we need to check the RSI. See, we haven't broke out yet, so it's still not all clear. But I think you need that. Once you break 884, I think you should be very confident the low is in. The low is in. How it plays out after that is tough to say, but I believe the low is in once that high is breached. I'm just going to label it this way for now, and then let the market decide. But understand that, like, if that high can't be overcome, we could still be in a correction. And then what I would do, since we're still in the correction, I would extend Y, make this a WX, and just another 3 moves down. So it wouldn't be like go to 0, but it would definitely come back to retest these lows. So you just can't rule that out. So it's in the middle area. It's in an area where it can really be 50-50 either way. I think if it broke 682, that could be the sign that it's gonna be corrective and break these lows. But obviously, the more we push higher, the better the chance you get this fifth swing, indicating the lows are probably in, breaking the RSI channel, and then starting a whole new cycle higher. And then again, a whole new cycle higher doesn't mean all-time highs. It just means a bigger rally. You're correct in this wave down, which could take it up to 16, and it could still go all the way back down, but at least you're in an uptrend that you can build off of and perhaps turn into an impulse, perhaps turn into highs in the future. All right, Oscar. Yeah, I'll explain connector wave for you guys. Connector wave is kind of an Elliott wave term, and we'll take a look at that here. So connector wave is basically in Elliott waves. You have 5 waves up in an impulse, okay, and then you pull back in 3 waves. Okay, so connector wave is the wave. This wave connects the first wave and the third wave down. So it connects. This wave. So this is when I refer to a connector wave. I'm referring to this wave that connects the first and the third swing. You never want to buy the first swing. You never I usually don't want to trade a connector wave. Connector waves, B waves, can be very erratic. They can be triangles, which is like, overlaps, crazy. It could be flats, where the connector wave does something like that. So it may not be clean, and it usually isn't. But for some reason, traders love connector waves. Everyone loves to trade a connector wave, and that's usually the wave that chops up a lot of traders, or theta kills your calls and puts, because it doesn't really go, because it's erratic and moves in all different directions. But for some reason, like I said, when I look at the internet, everybody traders love connector waves. God, they love connector. I actually hate trading connector waves. I only want to buy a third wave, so I'm always looking for a crash wave a connector wave, and then a third wave. When I see that setup, I get interested. Like Tesla is just in the first wave down right now, right? It doesn't really have a clear connector wave right now, so I wouldn't want to trade it. The indices could be in a connector wave, right? Just kind of ignoring it for now. The problem with connector waves is they can go all the way back up to the old highs, only to crash back down later in a flat. This usually blows up most people's accounts. Okay, the indices can even be doing this right now. The people, we don't even know it. That's a trap. So there's a lot of ways. So the connector wave is a dangerous wave for traders, but for some reason traders love connector waves. God knows why, but they do. So right now you're in a connector wave. So what would I be on Oscar? I would be on the sidelines, because you're in a connector wave. And as you can see, you see how erratic it is. Look, it's up and down and up and down. And it's so hard to predict. But what we're looking for is that third wave, the capitulation, to say, oh shit, the oh shit wave. Then you come in like a vulture and you swoop in and buy it. But in this mess, you just ignore it. You're just like going on vacation. You connector waves, you just do something else. You don't even bother with the market or your stock. In a connector wave is vacate. This is time to take a vacation. If you're an Oscar investor, I'll go on vacation. Okay, once it breaks 1125, now I'm getting interested. What if it doesn't break? Well, it could still be in a connector wave, right? Well, when do you give up on a connector wave? When it breaks the highs, but it could still be a flat, right? So and so when it breaks the highs, what you'll look for is, did you push 5 waves off of the lowest point? And if you did, then maybe you truncate it, and then you have to buy it at a little bit higher level if you've waited too long, which won't matter because you'll get the wave 3, which will still make tremendous gains, right? So it doesn't really matter, but traders love to buy it at the lows in here, and they feel like they get angry because they had to buy it at 24. Even though it's trading at $60, they're still angry they bought it at 24, not 18. But you won't, trust me, you won't care. But you'll have a better risk reward entry by waiting. So I would just wait through this. This looks like an ABC connector, and that could be your first wave done in your Y. So Y could be 5 waves down, connector down, or this could actually be your AB. So I don't know how this Y will play out. I think for now you could try to, you could even say it's going to do something like that. So again, I would just be on the sidelines. This is the level I would be looking for and just kind of patiently waiting. I don't like how this looks at all. And I would just be waiting. I wouldn't be surprised to see this rug pull at any moment. All right. LPSN, let's look at these 3 stocks real quick. LPSN, live person. Looks like we're coming out of this 2-wave in a stealth manner. So this is how the market builds into explosive wave 3s. They're quietly, it's in stealth mode. No one's noticing it, but you happen to be. It could be like in a 1-2-1-2 setup, or it could be in 5 here. I could label this in 5 and then ready to go. I think this is the most conservative way to label it. So it could still pull back down to the 4. It doesn't have to, but I believe it's building off of these lows. It can even be like a 1-2 here in a 1-2. So a lot of possibilities, but I just like to let this run as long as you're above 66.53. MVIS, Microvision. Let's take a look. So here we're still in a connector. We see the connector chopped around, right? We had 3, and then it went back into a bigger connector, 3, and then some kind of 5-wave move up. Again, we're still looking for that final push lower. And let's just take another look at everything. You know, it's too big. It's almost too big to be, it's probably the wrong degree. So probably need to take another look at a higher degree. Again, we broke the low here. This is a mess. Like I don't think X is here anymore. I think you're still in X. So actually, I wouldn't be surprised to see it come back to retest $1 and then whip back up to this peak and then whip back down again. Predicting this is almost impossible, like from an Elliott wave, because there's just so many possibilities that could emerge here. There's so many possibilities. Like this could still be in B here. There's so many possibilities. Like we could be in something like that, or we could even still be in this X, which is probably likely, I think. Yeah, I think it's something like that. So good luck. Good luck on that. I think you got some really erratic price action ahead before you can really break out. But it's almost impossible to predict this. But I think the key level is, obviously this W at about $1, and I think you would just buy it in this area and then look to sell it in here, up here, until you get a bigger now if this move down is very violent and you break these levels, then we can have the 2 in. That's what you're looking for the 2. Until that happens, it's just gonna wear traders out until you get a capitulation moment. ONDS. ONDS is coming off this low. Looks like, again, only in 3, down in 3. So it's in kind of a middle area. Right now, I would it's really in a very tough area. Again, not something I personally like to trade here, because it could go both ways, because you really only have 3 waves up, and then you have 3 waves down, and then you have another 3 waves up, and it stopped. So the market can do, the market can go either way on this. Like, it can either go higher, right, or it can break the lows, and honestly it'd be just guessing which way it would go based on this chart. Looking at the entire picture, it looks like it likes to trend lower. So I wouldn't be surprised if it goes down from here. But since you only have 3 down, market should be 5 down. So if it's not 5 down, maybe it can make another swing higher for you. So maybe I would be leaning towards the more bullish path. And if it's the more bullish path, then you would be looking at, you want to see 5 waves up, right? And then you'll see a pullback, and then another high, and then who knows? So I think that's what I'd be looking for, something like this. And it looks like you're about in like a wave 3 breakout, like a gap up, may even gap up on Monday. So I would go bullish only because that looks like 3 waves down and not 5 waves down. And if it was 5 waves down, I would be leaning bearish. I just don't. It just looks like 3 and 3. So I think it's only to me I would lean bullish because it's not 5 down. All right. Thanks again. Sound is one that I think Nvidia decided to not buy anymore, and people gave up on it. But we looking at it here. Let's just take another look at the count on the shorter cycle. We have the low in here, the low's in, so it's building off of this low. But we only have 3 up, right? 3 up, and 1, 2. Yeah, let me take a look at this. Corrected the cycle. It's also in an area that it's tough to forecast. Let's take a look here. You have an A, B, C. So then you have a 1, 2. Then you have an A, B, C for 3, 4. Could you have another A, B, C? If you do, this would be bullish, right? It would be a lead-in diagonal coming out in 3s. So maybe it could do this. The market could do something like this, and then a big pullback, but the lows are respected, and then you're out. Right? I think that's what I would expect. Something like that right now. For now, I would expect something like that, now you see how you have 4, so you probably have to put the 4 there. But so that's actually a little dangerous. You see how you broke that low right there with that wick. I could still make that an ABC and 5, but if you break that low, then this 4 could. But then it's not a 4. Then it's corrective, right? Then it's a WXY connector, right? And then it's going to take a whole nother leg lower and break these lows. So I think you got to keep an eye on this one. I think you really need to stay above $9, or maybe even 873. If you don't, then I'm looking at just a connector wave, right? And then you have a different outlook, right? You have 3 down, 3 up, and then I'll need another 3 down, and then I'd be looking for to buy it at 516 for another leg lower. Down there, and then it does a double correction, right? It does something like W, X, Y, and then this is W, X, Y, does something like that. So be careful. It's in a tricky spot, and I think you'll know in another few days which way it's going to break. But you really, if you're a bull, you need it to take out this peak. I think once you take that peak out, the low's in. Until then, it can really go either way. All right, Shopify. How's that doing? Oh, lost our chart on Shopify. All right, well, this is a flat off of that peak, off of this peak, right? And now you're building out of this here. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, 2. And then that looks like another 1, 2. There's your 3. You see all those overlapping waves? The RSIs are making higher lows except for right here. So again, let's take a step back, relabel it. Something just slightly different, I think. But see, there's too much overlap there. So again, it's a tricky chart to label. Yeah, probably put the 3 there. I think would label it that way. And then make that another 1, 2 here. So this is about to explode higher. It's playing catch up. And again, investors are looking for things like this that are lagging, that they can FOMO into. So this will probably get a bid. Shorter cycle. Just like the indices, it's kind of erratic here, and this on the first wave off the low. We have to go to the 4-hour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one has 5 off the low here. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Something like that. So like the rest of the market, a little more upside. And then we should correct this move. And that would be your probably your last chance to buy it before it goes higher. Right, it could probably pull back to like $100 again, and then that's probably it. That's your last chance. And then I think then the easy money begins. It looks like your inverse head and shoulders play right there, something like that. So I think that's the probable path. I can't rule out, though, it just breaks out from here, right? The rest of the market can still do that path, the moon boy path, but it's in some kind of 3 and 5. So I think it grinds higher still, and then there's a market-wide like rug pull that'll take this thing down, right? I keep saying that 2 out of 3 paths allow the market to pull back like this situation, and there's only one path where it just goes, right? So I can't rule that out either. So I think that's what you're looking at. It's building out of this base. So that's good for Shopify. I guess they figured out how to make AI work for them and not make them obsolete. I was worried AI would make them obsolete because who needs a company to build you a website when AI can do it for you in seconds? So they must have figured something out, a new way to make money. Vist Energy looks like a grand supercycle correction here that ended. Only see 3 up though from that low, so it's still dangerous. Typically, if you've gone down to the wave 4 bottom, it's deep enough. The wave 4 bottom would be right around here, and you did. So more than likely that correction's over, and you're trying to build off of these lows. And it looks like you made a higher high, so it definitely looks like you're going higher. And you could be about to see a big move higher because of the higher high. We could easily see the 60s here. And I would probably label it this way right now. Let's take a look at where we are. Higher are, yeah, so I think, I'd put that one here and 3 and something like that. So as long as you're above 47, this thing could be ready for a big move higher and a grand super cycle breakout. Okay, and we'll keep an eye on that one too. All right, XYZ, I think we looked at that last live stream. Let's see how it's performed since we left it. How's it been doing? Yeah, continuing to grind higher like we expected. It's hard because it's coming off the low. It's not going to be easy, but it will eventually continue, right? Looks good to me. It looks like now from here, I mean, there's a possibility this is a massive extended 5th wave. So this is, I'm labeling it bullish, but there is a there's another count here, the RSI supports, that's a little different. It still shows the lows in, but I put a 3 and a 4 here and make that a 5. Okay, so you still got to be careful chasing it here, because if it's the 5, we'll come all the way back down to 54. I almost want to go with that count to sync it up with the market, and I think that's the most conservative view, and I think that's the view we should take for right now, given where the market is. And then you pull back, and then you get a great opportunity for a long trade if it can do that. Now, if it can erase divergence, which it hasn't done. If it can erase, then the previous count I had is valid. So I don't think I'll go with the more bullish count given the backdrop of the market we know is coming, that pullback. But I believe that low is in, and just keep grinding higher. All right. Wint. All right, let's take a look at Wint here. All right, so Wint, you never got any pump in this area, so we probably erasing divergence. What's happening is the market's just extending on you, and see, boom, you erase divergence. So that's the sad thing about trying to catch these penny stock wave 5s, is it can just keep erasing divergence. So it wasn't. It was actually the more bearish setup. It wasn't an end in diagonal. It was actually a nest at 1 2 1 2 1 2, which is very bearish, right? But at some point, now that we know the count, we can probably have a better opportunity to try to time the bottom here, time the buy. Yeah, see, all these are going to be 1 2s because of the extension. And again, this is why Elliott Waves is tough, because Elliott Waves does not predict extensions in 5. It only it doesn't predict it, and that's what usually hurts pure Elliott Wave traders. That usually destroys them, because the 3s just keep extending on them, and a 5 never becomes a 5. So you see all that has to play out before you can buy it. So I wouldn't touch it anymore, to be honest with you. Now that 3 is probably finished, so you're probably now in the 4s and 5s, but look at all the 4s and 5s that have to play out. You see that? I mean, I wouldn't go near it, honestly. Now, this 5 isn't even a 5 anymore, right? Because you took out those divergent. So it's just it totally, the market totally rug pulled this and collapsed this instrument on you. It totally rug pulled it, and it is I would be looking to short pops. I mean, looking at this chart now, any pop, I would just short it, because I mean, it's got so much more sequences lower to come. But on the shorter cycle, it looks like the meat of the downturn is about to end, and now you have the 4s and 5s to play out. So every 4 you get, I would just look to short that in 3 waves. So every pop in 3 waves, you can short it, and you should be able. It should be like a money tree for a while doing that. I wouldn't be buying this anymore. There's no buy setup. No, I wouldn't buy any. I wouldn't buy it. There's no real target because there's too many waves. You need more time to play out here. You need more time to let this develop, and you can see the count for yourself here. I mean, it's just extended, and if you buy it, you're planning to play 4s, and of course the 4s are gonna pump, right? They're gonna pump, and each higher degree 4 should pump a little more and take a little longer. So every 4 will be more violent to the upside than the previous 4, or longer. So but instead of guessing when those 4s will come, I'd rather let the 4 happen and then try to short those. But it's not something I would even trade. I mean, I trade other things. It's like, it's something, you get the idea, right? You get the idea. So that's what you got ahead of you. I tried to draw it out for you. So something like that, right? In each 4 should be more violent to the upside, I guess. All right, good luck on that. Timothy, ATH. I don't. Oh, crypto. Okay, crypto. It's not one I've heard about before. Looks like must be some kind of new one on Coinbase. I think that's an easy chart, right? That's an easy chart. So yeah, you're in 5. Now, altcoins, wave 5s are always the most violent, right? So we don't know. 5s always end violent. So good luck on that. But I think as long as you're above 40, this pivot should go higher. All right, SUI. One, two. That looks like 5 up from here. And then a 3-wave pullback. That looks like 5 up too, right there, right? So that one looks good for the future, a future altcoin, right? Very obvious chart. 3 waves down. Now, the correction looks like it just ended. There's your 4. So there's a lot of altcoins that look like they've ended their correction. Our elite group is long a few of them, right? Even though Bitcoin broke its pivot, we did not shake out of some of our altcoins. We said, hey, let's just stay long these altcoins because they look pretty good. And then, of course, they recovered on Friday and so far good this weekend. So Bitcoin may have played a game with trick traders, but the altcoins, some of the altcoins are very clear setups, and this is another one. So I don't want to get your hopes up and start dreaming of riches, but it does look pretty good to me. Looks pretty good to me as long as you're above 289. Good luck on this one. Bongo. Is that what the hell is Bongo? Crypto, another crypto. Well, that one you just kind of go from the lows, right? That's how we do these. Looks like 5 up, although no divergence. So you gotta be careful it's not corrective. Let's go to the 4-hour. All right, the 4-hour looks a little better, and I'd rather stick with the shorter cycles. Looks like you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and maybe it's an extended fifth. Yeah, extended fifth here, and then you lost the whole 5, went to the 4. It's so tech to me, and the thing about crypto's so textbook with some of these setups because it's all just sentiment based, no fundamentals, and then that looks like 3 down. It looks like that's over right here. So as long as you're above that low, you could see a wave 3 born. I would like most of a lot of the altcoins look somewhat like these. 5 up, they show 5 up and 3 down with a cycle over. Again, I only think you should get another swing higher, but after that, it's anyone's guess what happens. And I can't promise you what happens after. Once you break these highs, I don't know what will happen after that. It can either make a 4 and a 5. It could crash back down, lose all your gains. So, well, you have to ask me about it another time when it's up there to see what it looks like. FET. Let's take a look here. Looks like we called that low pretty nice, right? It was corrective bounce, but we caught the low. We caught the swing low and broke the low. So just double correct it. See, that's what can happen, guys. You can see call the low, we get the 3 swing bounce. This is what I just talked to you about Bongo, right? Bongo can do the same thing, right? You got 3 swings, and then after that, we don't know. And look, this one you lost all your gains. So I think you'll get this 3rd swing in Bongo like you saw here. But then after that, who knows? So again, you're building off of this low, and now you have to wait and see what happens. More than likely, yeah, we have again. Most of altcoins are 5 off these April lows, which means we should get another swing higher and that's what Ethereum shows, and that's kind of the clue that we've been using to not be too bearish on the shorter cycle on crypto. It only comes after you get this swing higher. After you get this swing is what happens here. And this looks like a flat that finished up right about here. Okay. Question for MLGO: why wouldn't the 50 TQL and be considered because it didn't break? I don't really factor in that into the analysis. It may well be an idea that you could use. I don't have an answer for that, unfortunately. I don't know the answer. Maybe someone on the channel knows. Jesse Green, PCT. Pure Cycle. All right, let's take a look at Pure Cycle. Looks like an impulse down and 3 up and 5 down. However, yeah, see, it looks like it's a downtrend. It's a trending instrument to the downside, right? Again, I always hate to bring bad news on early on a weekend, but I don't see this. I see it something like an impulse down here. Let's take a step back. Yeah, maybe it's not that bearish at the moment. Let's just, because you see how it dropped in 3 and 3 and 3, so maybe it's not as bad as it first appeared. Let's take a look. A, B, C. That's some kind of ABC there. So some kind of W, X, Y. The problem we have here, it's only 3 waves up. So we could still be in X. But if we're in X, we need 5 up. So that would go higher, but we have 5 down here. So I think the way I would label it, it's kind of 50-50. I really don't have a good good insight into this one, other than there's a couple possibilities. You could it could easily extend lower and do something like this, and then come back up. Can easily do that. This labeling could be wrong in 5. And then it could also do something like that. So the other alternative is it could be right, and it could impulse down like that. Too many possibilities. I would just stay away from it. I'm not interested in it. WIF. Let's take a look at that. Here. So sort of worked out, right? We kind of turned down, broke. Now what I like is we broke that high there. So that to me, that negates the 4 right there. Okay, because it's 5 up. To me, that's 5 up. So, or the 4 is going to go higher, right? It's going to extend higher. Let's look at the degree. See, that's going to be too big to be a 4. And so now you have 3. So now you have 3 down. So we can kind of tweak the count a little bit. Label that 3 down from this peak, right? Bigger picture. See, there's just not a lot of data in this part of the cycle, and you know it could still turn into a 3-3-3, a WXY. So I think what the best way to play it is to just play it bullish now off of this low. Now that you have 5 waves up, so it did kind of turn at our level, but it made an extension in 5, and it started a correction. And so now the big thing is going to be, is it going to be finished here, or is it going to double correct? So I don't, it could be in 50-50. It could double correct. It can easily double correct, right? It can easily double correct and hit 45 cents and then retest this low. That would happen if you broke 78.3. If not, that could be the low as well, and it could be ready for a big move higher. Looking at it, it looks like it's in 3 and it's in 5 on the upside. So I would actually lean bullish on it for now, but I would still tread very carefully because these shorter cycles can be inaccurate. But I would just kind of label it this way for now and just see what happens in the next 24 hours. But if it does break these levels, it's going to do the double correction, and I would expect more downside to come. But my guess is these lows will hold no matter what happens here, and you'll get at least another swing higher in the future. And then after that, who knows? All right, ICP, crypto. No, not that one. So again, we have to go off of the low here. Looks like a 5-wave sequence off this low, right? But it's hard to see the wave 1 and 2 in that. Probably like right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's probably the one. It's probably a flat off of that peak. of some kind. See, I don't like this this structure, but you know, I'd probably put the one there. And see, I would have put the 2 there. That would have been perfect, but then you broke the low. So now you're in some kind of irregular correction, right? You're still in 2 and you're still in a flat. So again, it's got to hold. It has to hold $2.80 or it's a go to zero crypto. I think it's going to hold it, looking at the higher high sequence here, but it's in some kind of flat, but a real nasty one. And it's got to be, I got to go with like this kind of count here, 1, 2, like maybe one more low to get 5. That would be ideal, to break this low one last time, like a very, very small breach. I'm just going to go with that for now. But you need to stay above this level before you can get the wave 3. If not, then this is something else. All right. SBSW, Platinum Miner. I think SBSW was doing pretty good. All the miners are doing pretty good. This one was no exception. I think we called this one on our live stream a while ago. And yeah, look at that. So that's our count. Now let's look at the RSIs to see if a divergence has been erased. We're starting to do that. If that can take that peak out, then we'll have another 1, 2, and this will just, you know, use your imagination. It's likely to do that, right? But there's no guarantee. If not, you're going to have a series of 4s and 5s, and then a much bigger pullback, where most people will eventually leave the trade, only to miss out on the real gains that I think everyone really wants. So again, so it could, you know, you could do that. So I think this is the conservative view, right? 1, 2 out as it tops out. But I can't rule out an extension. But this is something you hold for a long time. There's no need to be trading in and out of this, other than, hey, if it's a big enough dip, let's buy it. As long as you're above these levels, at like down here, there's a bull market has been born in this instrument. All right. Hype USD, KuCoin. All right, Hype USDT. This one I'm not, don't know about that one either. Hyperliquid. Assume that, I don't know if that Wix, Ghost Wick, accurate, whatever it is. We have to ignore that in analysis, or it just messes us up. So we'll just look at it from, you made a higher high, good, and you're at a peak in 3 waves. You should make a 5th wave at least. So definitely more upside coming. So I would label it this way for now. And again, it can always extend. And then after that, it could be a couple things. It could be corrective. And then it could go all the way down. And we see this a lot in altcoins. Okay, it could do that. The other possibility is you found a hidden gem, and it's a 1, 2, 1, 2, and it just goes in to the moon. It's just not enough data to know. But once you make that 3rd swing, it's anybody's guess. It can do so many possibilities. It's really tough to trade it, other than unless you really believe in its situation or not. But it'd be tough. But now this pullback is getting a little too deep. But I still think it's a 4. But if you break 30.19, then it's corrective, and then I would be worried about a flat situation of some kind, and it comes back. So I think as long as you're above 30.19, I would assume the fifth wave is in. And remember, sometimes the fifth wave in crypto and altcoins, well, not sometimes, almost all the time, the fifth wave in altcoins is the most violent, most explosive, and the most gains, which makes it the hardest to trade and the hardest to know when to sell. And that's why it makes crypto so tough for people. So it's not like stocks where the 5 just kind of break. Like normally when you get 5, you get the full thing. That's when the major money is made. All right. GDXU. Well, the GDX we'll look at first. The GDXU obviously has been making major gains, but it's really up to what the GDXU wants to do on this shorter cycle. So the GDXU, we still have it in a 5. Okay. Now here's the situation we're in on the GDXU right now. Where are we on the major cycle? Okay. So we broke the high, right? You have a 1, 2. It looks like a 3, 4. Now the problem is that sell-off is a little too deep, right? It's correcting. Looks like the whole leg. So is there a chance that 5 is in, right? Is there a chance? That would look like something like this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it would be something like that. I don't think it's likely. When you look at the individual miners themselves, what I think will happen is we'll eventually erase divergence and extend. But I can't rule out the daily cycle resetting. And if it does, it's going to pull back again. So it's in a very tough situation right now, the miners, because, long term, they're super bullish, major bullish. But on the shorter cycle, we could have 5 up. And then this can even be 5 up off of this low, right? And that would be a 1, and that would pull this back down before the major move higher. Now gold needs more upside. So I think this 5 will extend, but if it extends, I wouldn't be surprised if divergence erases. And then it just keeps going. So what I think we're in right now in the minor, and this is in like a 1, 2, and we push out of it. I think it extends. When you look at gold is in a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup, and I want to see it hit here, and then it could be in a bigger peak, right, for a bigger pullback. And I've got to update this. My long-term chart this is not a higher degree 4 anymore, by the way. I have to update this. We've erased divergence. So we would pull back. This cycle would end, and we would pull back again once we get here. But I think looking at where gold is now, if we don't pull back and then this is only 3 up, 3 down, and it makes a double, and we come back to like 3,000, and then we take off. And that would be the gold miners hitting its 5 right now. That would be this situation. We're in 5, and then it pulls back. So it's short-term trade, tricky. Long-term, it's noise to get you to take your money from you so you don't make money in the future. It's to get you out of your positions and steal your shares is all it is. And if you don't have the conviction like I do, you won't hold through it, or you won't accumulate, and then you'll miss the big move, or you'll doubt it is happening. So I don't know. I think 5 extends though. I think so if that extends, and that's my primary view right now, GDXU should still have a little more upside. But understand the danger of holding it potentially on the shorter term if 5 is done and the 1 is in, because then you don't want to hold that right now. Okay. And so the GDXU, we can look at it real quick and see what it looks like. That was a big pullback. Let's take a look at what we got going on here. We had to buy here. We're in a C leg. Again, see, it's kind of kind of showing like 5 waves. Let me see. Yeah, 1, 2. See, you have 1 cycle, 2 cycles, and so you have 1, 2. So you have 5, but then see how this overlaps a little bit. So you know, you could do that. It's possible. And the way I would label it is it's another 1, 2. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Something like that, and then it pulled back again in another 1, 2. So it's correct in this cycle. So it could come all the way back down, right? And then still come out. So I think you're in this too. I don't. So this says this is telling you divergence is going to be erased, and the gold miners are going to extend and erase divergence, and this 5 is going to become, this will become another 1, 2. That's what this is telling me. But this pullback is going to be a shakeout, scary one, and it still may be in it. But I think this is the count I would go with for now, coming out of this. Okay, good luck on that. But yeah, I think you're in a pullback, and I think you're in the middle of it. I don't think it's over. It could see how this went in 3 waves. It could do a lot of crazy things here. It could A, B, a C, and do that. It could be a crash correction. Just keep going down on Monday. It could be a lot of things here. So I don't know, but I'm willing to bet that this low holds. And then when you break out of this, it really takes off. It's just how I feel. It's kind of how I feel about it at the moment. So good luck on that trade. This is definitely a way to play the wave 3, but it's never easy, right? It's never easy, but this was the area of accumulation, and it just took several years to get through this base, but we finally got through it, and now it's coming out. Okay, I think I got through everybody's questions. Let me see. Oh, Newegg's been on fire. I told you guys to just tuck Newegg away. Just tuck it away in your piggy bank, and it will come to life when you least expect it. I haven't looked at it in a while. Mara and the miners are looking pretty good, guys. Riot even better. Our elite group, been pointing that out to them, and we follow that. I know someone that follows me is telling me they've been making a ton of money on Riot because of our, my input, which is nice to see that. And there's, like I said, crypto has mixed messages. We have instruments that show like, wow, the low is in. I can't see it going any lower. And then others like MicroStrategy that are like, nah, it's got a big dump coming. So there's cross currents. It's not a very clear picture. So it's not tough to correlate. So that's why we just trade each chart on its own. And that's what we did on Friday. We looked at the market and said, okay, yeah, Bitcoin shook out. Does that mean sell every crypto? It's usually what it means, but we're like, no, we have other charts that are bullish, that are even over the February high. Like, we're just going to trade each chart. Let the Bitcoin people like stop out and get whatever, but we're going to stay long what the chart still says we should stay long. And actually that proved to be the right call so far, knock on wood. And then we can catch Bitcoin at a later date. All right. Yeah, guys, thanks again. So I think I'm just going to scan through comments. Yeah, bull. I have to look at that bull. I've heard about bull. Yeah, bull, the stock bull. Natural gas, my system works poorly with natural gas. I just tell you that. I think out of every stock I've traded, I've lost the most money with natural gas, guys. So I'm probably not the person to ask. But I'll just show you the chart I kind of do for the hell of it. And this is kind of the chart I've been going with. I have on an ABC, I have 5 off the low. I have 3 down, which was a buy. It bounced and it's in limbo. I think if it breaks this peak, it's gonna it's gonna be again painful for the Main Street and energy prices. And if it breaks down, we're going probably to buck. I don't know. It's in the middle area. This was the gamble to go long, right? And it got the reaction, and now it's the market's like, what do we do? And we'll find out, I think, in the next week. UNH, guys, UNH is devil's fruit that's tempting retail dip buyers and traders. I'd just like to stay away from that. Again, you need to let more data play out. And this is the chart we have on the UNH. We called the flat on our live stream a long time ago. It worked out, and then I think someone asked me, and we were like, nope, don't buy it. And then all that news came out, and I think looks like this was a good call. Now, this is the chart I have. I have another low to break this low, and then a massive pump, again, similar to this, and then it actually fails one more time. And I think that at that point, people will abandon it. If that doesn't happen, if it breaks and erases divergence, and this becomes a 1-2, 1-2, then it's a go to zero. It's an Enron. It's Lehman. It's Bear Stearns. Obviously where there's smoke, there's fire, and it's something the company is obviously in doing nefarious activities, and they're going to get their asses handed to them. But if this chart plays out, it'll be a great investment opportunity. So watch this 5. It's going to be all about this 5 here. Will we crash? If it crashes again, like we saw here, it's a go to zero. There's smoke, there's fire. Again, they were telling you to buy Lehman as it dropped to zero. I lived through that, guys. Bear Stearns on TV. Oh, it's a great opportunity. All that shit went to zero. No one believed these things can happen. And again, UNH, no one believed. Oh no, they're so honest, and they'll never like pad their invoices, whatever the hell they were being accused of doing. No, they'll never do that. Well, if they do, what happens? They get disbarred from being able to, be in Medicare, Medicaid, and that's their entire business is gone. They're done. It's toast. Game over. If the allegations are true, if they're not true, well then this will still play out, and then you'll have a great investment opportunity. But I think you need to let UNH just kind of do its thing here. You're going to need to let it play out a little more. I would stay away from it. So that's all I can say about UNH, guys. Just stay away from it, man. It looks like I got another question here on let's see here. MSOS sold half, stopped down, waiting to add Riot. Have a good day. Okay. MSOS is in a situation where, again, you're playing you're playing the second wave higher. It looks like we have 5 off the low, and we have 3 down, and you're playing against this low at $2. Every time it's tried to rally, it gets slammed back down. But what you're hoping for is a move higher in C, and it's in a very tough sequence to chart because the wave is so tight. It's being slammed down. I'll do my best to kind of label it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so let's try to label this. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 5. Well, I extended in 3. Again, I'll just kind of label this out a little bit. 1, 2. Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I'll clean this up in a minute. Looks like one more wave lower to finish this thing. So as long as you're below 244, I would expect another wave lower. If you break 244, the low is in, and it should take off. So that's how I trade it. And if it is, then you should see something like this happen, and that should be it. Assuming you don't erase divergence, right? That's always the assumption. So that's the play right there. And I tried to label it the best I can. We did get the reaction here, just failed. I think you'll get another reaction at least. If it's going to break these lows, it could turn into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm looking for this last little bit, and then the big move higher should happen. Or you break 245, and then I would just market buy it and play the pump. All right. And then UVIX is like not something I'd the way I trade UVIX is very is not like these other symbols we go through. We trade UVIX where we wait for the cycle to end, let it react higher, and then buy the pullback. That's how we trade it. So you have to be a little more patient. So like the setup here was an example where we did make money on UVIX, where we waited for the cycle to end. We got a reaction. Okay, the cycle ended. We saw the reaction. We got the pullback. We bought it. Elite Group, we had it as a buy right here. Our entry was around $27. We got this big pump. We take some profit. Then we put our stop at 26.27. So it's a zero risk. We made some money. And then, okay, we got stopped out. But we still made some money. Now what do we do with UVIX? Well, you're going to have to do the same. You're going to have to wait. So we have another low to make. One more low. One more low. Unfortunately, it's one more low. The VIX has one more low. I don't know how far this will extend down, but it's got one more low. Right? This 5 could have ended here. Right? It could have ended here. But on Friday, they decided to make to not. It's going to extend. So it's going to go a little bit lower. It's just the way it is. Maybe it'll go to 15 VIX. I don't know. I don't think it'll go much lower. But the best way to trade the UVIX is just let it finish its cycle, to let it react. End the cycle, right? What I say, this cycle, end this downtrend. It's in a downtrend, right? It's in this downtrend. When it ends, it comes back above 27, 28. Then, buy the first pullback, buy it. And then just put your stop wherever the low is. You may get a little bit of a pump, or you may hit the home run, the jackpot, the casino, So we don't know. But I don't like to bottom fish, I don't like to buy it like we do the other symbols. Like normally we would project the tar. I don't like to buy UVIX that way. Every time I trade UVIX where we buy the breakout and pull back, it's like been printed money for me. And I think that's the best recommendation. Here again, we had the breakout, the pullback, we bought it. Right? Huge gains. Right? That's how we trade the UVIX, guys. It's like you buy. Here is another one. I even on my channel, guys, and my members, I said the cycle ended right here. I said when we came down, the cycle ended, guys. The first pullback, buy it. We bought it, and then even had another pullback, right? And this was massive gains. So UVIX is easy to trade once you see the cycle end. You buy the first pullback, and then you just put your stop at the low. and then you just let the market decide for you. So this is gonna be the same thing. So you're just gonna have to, I think, be patient and let the new, you're in a new downtrend. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. They're crushing the VIX because they can. That's the way they move this market higher. They manipulate the VIX to push this market higher until they can't anymore. And they're about to not be able to do that. This chart is telling you those days are about to end sooner than they realize. The VIX is going to be tough to manipulate soon. And we see what's coming, right? Higher rates and some chaos is coming, I think, in the next 45 days at some point. A volatility event is on the horizon at the end of June into July. That's what it's looking like. But when? Tough to say. We need once this cycle ends, we can buy the pullback. Until then, you'll have to decide what you want to do, because this can push lower and it can go substantially lower, right? We know that with UVIX. So I wouldn't just advise just holding and praying and waiting, because you may be having to wait a little bit longer. All right. And then Riot needs a pullback, or you know, and I don't want to ever recommend chasing stocks, guys. But Riot, we caught 5 waves off the low. I think on my weekend update, I for elite members, I alerted them to buy it around here on the 3-wave pullback, and it hasn't disappointed. Look, it's already above the May peak here. Bitcoin's not even above the May peak, guys. No, there's no crypto I know that's above this peak. None that I can find other than Riot. So it's very bullish. I'm just telling. Obviously, I'm stating the obvious. It's stating the obvious, but I don't know why. Who knows? Maybe there's some news. Now, right now, I'm just showing 3 swings. Right now, after that, who knows? Who knows? But hey, there's no reason to get too afraid. Yeah, I think after that 3rd swing, then anything can happen, right? We know anything can happen. It could double correct. Well, we've seen that. Do that, right? It could pull back and make a 4 and a 5, right? And then pull back again, and then take off, right? Or it can just not slow down and do that. So there's a lot of possibilities here, but I like the short-term setup. That's what we liked, and we still like it. I still like it. I think it could run into trouble again around like $12, $12.50, that area. It's going to run in. That's going to be this will be the decision point. Somewhere in this area will be the area where the sellers will try to make their last stand to crush it again, I think. And then all this craziness may play out that I have here. All those arrows will come, you know. But very bullish. I don't know why it's so bullish, but it is. It is what it is. And again, these are the mixed messages in crypto, right? It's a mixed message. This is telling me I should be very bullish on crypto. I should not be bearish. But then again, I see a stock like MicroStrategy, even Coinbase, that looks like crap. It looks like crap. So I don't know. It's mixed messages in crypto, guys. I think you just have to play each chart on its own. I think that's what you got to do, play each chart on its own. Now, if Riot does something crazy and gives you a flat, you just thank the market makers for the gift. If it does something like this, where this is a 3-wave move and a flat, just thank them for the gift. But again, the higher high should push us to these levels, and then you can buy it again and just understand that. So that would be like a sell-off early next week, a dramatic sell-off in crypto. If that were to happen, you know, you can look to pick it up again down in here, and we could just buy it again. Or if you missed the move, you can buy it down here. That would be your gift and B. So it's not like, oh my God, I should just go market buy it right now. Like, no way. It's too late. You missed the move, you missed it. You missed it, you missed it. You catch the next one. It's the way it goes. It's the way it goes. You know, you missed it, you missed it. Because if you chase it, you know the market will do the flat, and then they'll just destroy you. So you can't. And then if you don't chase it, of course, it's going to do this, what I'm showing here. So that's the way the market does. It drives you crazy. So you just, I don't recommend chasing. But I'm showing this count for your just entertainment purposes and what I think is the likely path based on the obvious, setup. But then here is judgment day on Riot, okay? Canadian Tire Class A shares, okay? That's a new one for me. Let's take a look at that. Not seeing it come up. Let me look at, I'll just type the name in and see if I can get the yeah, you have to give me Gary, you're gonna have to give me the symbol on TradingView, or I can't look it up. I just don't know if TradingView has that. There it is. Maybe I can do this one, CTC. Toronto Exchange. I'll just do that one. All right, let's take a look at what we got going on. Pretty bullish. Year 3, year 5. Now, that's your whole cycle here. So actually, it's actually at a 1-2-1-2 setup. Very bullish setup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, you go, why wouldn't that be 3, 4, 5? Well, the 4 is too deep, and the RSI did not surge enough for 3. So my guess is it's a 1-2-1-2 setup right here. I guess tires are going to be a hot item soon for whatever reason, or they're going to make a lot of money. Maybe it's an inflation hedge against rising oil prices. I don't know. Now, you see the dip didn't really hit our level, but you've already reacted higher. So you have to call it truncated on this. But it is kind of a somewhat of a warning that it could go deeper or double correct. But for now, we can just leave the 2 in here. Now, like I said, it didn't hit our levels, so it could always double correct. Sometimes when that happens, it double corrects down, so you can't rule that out. So just be careful, be cognizant that it could still correct, and you only have 3 up, but you have finished this cycle. So it could be this, right? The most bullish interpretation, right? And it's ready to go in a big 3, or it's gonna do a nasty shakeout, drop it like straight down, and then come out. I think the best way to trade it is sidelines until you either come back and take out 265.57 or you break these lows. So I think this is a tough area to trade it. I think you're better off waiting for the market to push higher, even though you may not get all the upside. You'll have a better risk reward because it can easily be 3 here, 4, and then okay, it's an impulse. But if it's corrective and you buy it here, you could lose a lot of money. I think it's and since it didn't hit our level, it is at risk of that second shakeout. So just I think what we'll do is we'll just kind of label it like this for now. And then we'll have to leave the rest unlabeled. But I think longer term is good. Shorter term, tricky. The longer term chart is clear to me. It's going to be higher in the future. All right. Thanks again for the super chat. ESPR, Tina, thanks for being a member for 3 months. It looks like it says that on there. Appreciate staying with me so long. I know most of you guys have been with me since I started in February. Appreciate that. Or even when I started doing this since 2022. Although I did leave X for a period of time and then came back. ESPR looks like you have a 3-way move down. Almost looks like it's in the right area where you would have found the level. See, it's too deep though. It looks like to me it's close to a low, right? For a big 3 swing move. So when you look at the RSI, it's breaking out of the downtrend here quietly, right? Look at this stochastic RSI right there. It's crossing over just about to. This is the monthly cycle. So this is the multi-year, cycle, right? So you're just starting to come out into a new bull market is about to be born, and no one's really paying attention, but obviously you must be. So I don't know anything about this company and why it would be bullish. Obviously, so that's the low, right? But that's not enough data, right? We're just like one little bounce off of it. So what it looks like, it could be a couple things here. This could be a connector wave that's in taking shape, right? It could become like an A, B, C, right? And this can go on for like, something like that. I think that's probably what I think is going to happen for now. So I wouldn't really worry about the front half. I would just worry about what is C like for the next 12 to 18 months. It looks like it wants to start a new bull market here. And you see how this cycle ended, right? You have the monthly cycle, but also the short-term cycle just ended. This leg just ended, right? It looks like 5 down to me. Clearly ended the cycle. So I would say, again, just going to label it based on what I think the trend is, but it's not a lot of data. If we were to come back and break that low, then I would be looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then maybe it's not on this connector wave and we're just finishing a 5-wave move off of this peak. And then the monthly RSI will have bullish divergence and end the correction later after a 5-wave move down. So it could still become a 5-wave move down, and then there's a lot of bullish divergence on all these RSIs, and then it just comes out that way because the monthly cycle is going to save it. The shorter cycle may still push it lower, but the monthly cycle is turning it. So there is a move higher in the future. It's just a shorter cycle. Where is it gonna go from here? And you can see the daily. You see how these are really stretched on the daily and on the 4-hour, like the rest of the market. We have to be careful that it is not gonna do an extension and turn into a 5-wave move from this peak. So I would say as long as you're above the 70 cents, you're okay, but you have to be careful of the impulse to allow the daily and 4-hour to cool off, and then the monthly will make a bullish divergence here and bring it out of that once all the cycles are in alignment. So it's a tough call on how to trade it right now, but it's close. You're onto something, I think. It may be just a little too soon. We need to, I think it's, given the market's pulling back, I'd be worried you're going to get a deeper pullback, and it won't be this like flat here, and it's like 3 waves, and then 5 down, and it's done. And then you get the big corrective bounce. Okay, thanks again for all that. I think I've appreciate everyone's super chat. There was somebody, Matt said, forgot to add MIGI, MOS, and infrastructure. Did I forget something? All right, if I did, I'm sorry about that. Let me do that and then wrap up this. Okay, so this looks good to me, right? And it looks like 5 up. Look at that. So that low, we can call that in. So it looks like we're good here. So that low's in. So we have 5 up, and you know what that means. You usually get another swing higher after 5. So it could double correct. It doesn't have to. So you only have 3 here. If it can hold 54 cents, it's off to the races. Now, if it breaks 54 cents, there's a buy opportunity for you for like traders at 42 cents for the next push higher. You should get another swing higher. Then after that, who knows, right? We always say that after the third swing, we just never know. We never know. So we should get, but I can't. But it could also be finished already. And then this is like, this almost looks like 5 there, right? Could finish. But if it were to do a quick little dump, there's your buy. Likely this low holds for the time being, and this looks like it's in a bigger bounce area, right? It ended a major cycle, right? It ended this whole cycle. So now this next uptrend should take a while, right? Like we saw in previous cycles. So I wouldn't be too worried about your entry, right? If you're playing the big picture, right? As long as you're above 35 cents, I think you have a play here. You break that, well then, then we need to look at this bounce. It corrected the whole cycle. See, I think it corrected the whole cycle. See that? So that would be horrible for whatever this company does. If it breaks this low, it's a go to zero, right? It's a go to zero. There's no future. It's a penny. It's less than a penny. It's like 000, guys. It's gone, or it's gonna just reverse split itself to death and dilute. So if you're a shareholder, you need to stay above this level. But so far so good. It looks okay to me. All right. All right, guys. I think that's all I've got today. I'm going to go ahead and get going with the rest of my day. Thanks again for watching my live stream. Please let your friends and people about my channel. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. I've been hovering around 300 here or there, and I appreciate if we can grow that to 500. I want to be able to add more perks for our members, and I want to follow more symbols for our pro group, for our basic group. I will do that. I'll add quite a few more instruments without even increasing the price. If everybody just can suggest one person to join, it's only $5 a month. I think you'll help me out a lot. Also, what's really strange about my service is it's very counterintuitive. I actually grew members while the indices were pumping, right? Because we were bearish for a little bit, right? Here, being bearish was okay as a trader, and then we were like sidelines on the indices, right? Sidelines on the indices, and you would think people were mad and upset. And actually, I grew my channel over 100 members in this period of time, where you would think people would be so mad. And actually, in the last week, while the indices have done nothing and we've done really well, our elite members have done amazing, got all the medals and minor trades, all this stuff. We've actually lost people, and people have been more angry at me for God knows different reasons. So it's a really odd paradox. And so I don't think accuracy has anything to do with membership levels. So I think that's a paradox that I think I'm seeing, that it has nothing to do with accuracy. So I'm hoping that I'm going to improve like how I communicate and the frequency, and maybe that will help. Maybe that's what's most important, and accuracy is not really what's that critical, because if accuracy was critical, I would have probably my whole service should have collapsed here, but it didn't. It actually grew and expanded dramatically, and only recently it's been jammed up, and I'm fading. So I need your help to keep me from fading, because I want to put more time into this.